It must be the first of the month. Don's taking his readings, his numbers, his...
That's right.
Yep. Got to go underneath the house next for the heat pump number, right? I mean the water heater. Water heater, yeah. I'll try to keep the cats away. Gray's hiding over there. She tried really hard to follow poor Don in. Well, they say we got one more super nice day today.
Oh, yeah.
And tomorrow is a little nice. And then it's going to be oppressive.
Right.
Yep, so got to enjoy it while we can. Must be time for coffee and paper.
Absolutely. I cannot wait.
Well, so far so good over here with my lilies. I was noticing this morning that there are lots of blooms, lots of flowers starting to form. It's going to be really pretty here in another month. You guys are good kitties. I'll be back in a little bit. Johnny requested another batch of fried rice, and so I've got rice on the back burner, and then I'm gonna do onions and broccoli here in the front. I don't have frozen peas, and he says he likes the broccoli better. I have to say, for those of us with family at home striving to cook real food, more meals at the house, which is pretty normal for us, but not so much in the middle of the day, I guess. You know, it is a little bit of a thing having to, you know, cook in the middle of the day, but it's worth it. It's worth it. I totally support real home-cooked food. Yeah, and I'm really lucky because I do most of the cooking and Don does a lot of the cleaning. So there's that too. A lot of people doing the cooking. They don't have somebody helping with the cleaning. Do I get a good mom award this morning?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, the nice thing is that I made the effort to make this. I put kielbasa in it, and you know, he'll have lunch for 3 or 4 days, including today. So the real food investment, it spans multiple days. Don is such a good boy. It's the first of the month, so that means clean out the air conditioning vent filters too.
That's right.
Sometimes it's the little things. Don had the love seat moved out, so I vacuumed under everything over there. Ready for inspection. Here's the second reverse osmosis tank Don wants to put in, and this shelf right here is where he wants to put it. And since we needed to move everything out of that corner anyway, Don is building me a new, fresh kitty litter box, a big cardboard box to go around the actual kitty litter box. It just helps keep gravel from going everywhere.
Right.
So Don has our refrigerator pulled out, and like, what do we had it now, like a year? And he's cleaned out behind there. Obviously, in order to do what he wanted to do with the reverse osmosis tank, he needed to get back behind there, and you know, you ought to vacuum under the refrigerator every 6 months to a year anyway. Ask Don what he thinks about being behind the refrigerator.
Yeah, it's a little cramped back here, you know. But
there's no dirt.
Right, we've cleaned up really well, and I'm fixing to vacuum the coils off.
Now.
You know, it's something you're supposed to do every year or so, is vacuum the coils and stuff. You know, it helps the refrigerator be more efficient, run cooler, cool better. So, we'll see.
I promised the FedEx guy that I'm done with ordering storage containers for now, for the time being. These is finally, a month later, the things I ordered from Harbor Freight, which is what was holding me up more in Lego organization than some other stuff. So
yeah, well, these came from like Iowa or something. I think they must go down to their stores and say, oh, well, this store's got extra of these things, and I don't know how, because you know, we've got a humongous Harbor Freight warehouse down at the North Carolina South Carolina border. I mean, it's humongous, and I can't imagine why it didn't get shipped from there.
Well, one of these hot days here, not today. Well, I might do a little something today, but I'm waiting for one of those 90-degree, too hot and humid and buggy to be outside days, and then this Lego stuff will get cleaned up better.
Sure.
So we had this drawer beside the refrigerator that had all this hardware stuff in it, Do you think Don and I look in that drawer for hardware when we need hardware stuff? Shoot, no, we go out to the garage, so I'm moving all this stuff on out. So Don tells me that this part's done and he's just working on getting the tank back under the cabinet and hooking up the hose on that end. It does just fit. He checked he checked before he started. But it doesn't fit by much.
No, it doesn't. Oh, it messed up the...
My contact paper, how dare you? I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry.
So here's what was in the Harbor Freight box. I have 3 of the thin storage cases and 2 of the thick ones. And again, it's for Lego parts, both stuff for the school for robotics and personal stuff. These are like $10 a piece or less. They're supposed to be a Best Buy, highly recommended. They're what I already have for robotics from like 4 or 5 years ago. They've held up in and out of the car twice a week. Great. I like these because you can take the little dividers out. You know, you can carry it, you can dump it, you can easily put it in. I do not like, for me personally, the containers where these don't come out. And you can sort of see the little grooves up here. That's how it snaps so that things don't go from compartment to compartment. And for me, as long I've trained the kids to push down before they ever lift. And we usually try to carry them flat and not by the handle. Anyway, just to be careful, but I haven't had any problems with stuff spilling between cubbies, between the bins. Yeah, these bins here that are fixed, they just don't work. And they're a little too small for the amount that I had. So I'm going to transfer this to this. See, that is just so much better. So while he's on a roll, he's moving the original reverse osmosis tank that he had installed under the house, under the kitchen sink. And both of these things today have been designed to bring the tank closer to where we're using it. So hopefully the pressure will be a little better.
Right, so it's right.
Yeah, we're having to wait a little longer than is convenient. And the tank wasn't expensive and it's mostly Don's labor, so
yeah,
might as well.
Exactly right.
My stuff's out from under the sink again. But it's all organized because we organized it the last time we fooled with installing the new sink.
Right.
Well, I made good progress. It's time for me to stop and work on dinner. Don's got his project done in the house anyway.
Yep.
So it's going on 6:30 and Don's already worked plenty hard today, especially having to lay in all those funky positions to get underneath the cabinet. But we want to restain the footbridge. And, you know, before you can stain it, you got to clean it. And after you clean it, you got to let it dry. So Don's going to power wash the bridge. It won't take long. It's kind of like power washing Ruby. It's not a big deal. And he's already hot and sweaty and in his work clothes. So,
just work.
Yeah, it really needs a stain though before we get in trouble with it. We love our little footbridge. What year did we put it in? Before we got Ruby, right? Like the year before? Yeah. A year or two before?
I think it was, yeah, a year or two before. We looked it up, I thought.
Yeah.
2014?
Right. I'll look again. We bought it as a kit. We knew we wanted a little bit of an arch. And I do think the kit saved Don some time. So, huh?
Yeah, I think the kit saved some time.
I asked Donnie very nicely to be careful for my volunteer butterfly bush down here. There's some blackberries in there too, and if we don't mess with the blackberries, we might have us one pie this year. But yep, so pretty soon here this will be looking spiffied up. I do not remember planting this rose bush here, but I might have. It looks pretty though. Wow, that's quite a difference.
Yeah.
I think I've been sorting Legos on and off for over 6 hours. My new bins from Harbor Freight are totally full. And I'm ready to start putting Ziploc bags in the new bins and getting rid of all these other little loose things and unmatching bins. But I am too worn out to do that tonight.